All, I welcome you all in my YouTube channel, and yes, today we are going to study the ant and the cricket. Aesop's. It is a collection from Aesop, and it is retold by Jenny Dolo and Anthony Kerr. All right, so let's begin. It is a fable that conveys a moral. Fable is a traditional story. What is fable? Fable is a traditional story that conveys a moral. It revolves around the universal idea of the importance of hard work. In this story, in this poem, you will get to know that industry is rewarded while laziness is punished. We will get to know how it happened at the end of the story. What is fable? So, yes, fable is a traditional story that teaches us a moral lesson. Usually, the character in fables are animals. So, let's begin with the poem. A silly young cricket, accustomed to sing. What is the meaning of accustomed? Means he is a habituated. You can see he is a habitual of singing. Alright. A silly young cricket. Silly means foolish. Okay. A foolish young cricket who is used to or accustomed to, or you can say in the habit of singing. He loves singing through the warm sunny months of okay, through the warm means through here, what does the meaning of through here? To pass the warm sunny months of happy summer and spring, he sings all day long, all day night. He was very happy. He just eat, sleep and singing. He does nothing except of all these works. He hadn't saved anything for future. He was just enjoying the summer month. He was just enjoying the winter. Began to complain when he found that at home his cupboard was empty and winter was came. He began to complain means, cricket started to complain. He started to grumble. He started complaining. Why did he started complain? He started complaining because now at his home there is nothing to eat. Everything is just empty. Nothing is there. A crumb is not available there. All right, and now he is dying with hunger. That's why he is complaining, because I had already told you in the first line that he has passed his summer month and his spring month by only singing. He was singing all day long and all day night, and he did nothing. Right now he is complaining, now he is grumbling. All right, because he has nothing to eat. On the other hand, in this story there is an ant, and ant is the ant is a hard working creature. They are hard working insects. All right, they love to work hard. So they were working hard for their future, because they know winter is about to come and they have to collect food. They have to make their shelter. All right, because in the winter season weather is very harsh for them. That's why she was preparing herself for the future. On the other hand, as cricket is compared to a silly person, he hadn't stored anything for the winter, and now he is complaining because he has done nothing for the future. That's why he is complaining, he is grumbling. Not a crumb to be found on the snow covered ground, not a flower could he see, not a leaf on a tree. All right, as I had already discussed, now he hadn't saved anything, and now the winter season had arrived and everything is just covered with snow. Everywhere is snow. You all can see in the picture, everything is covered with snow. Nothing is visible there. Not a crumb to be found. There was not a single piece of bread. There was not a single piece of any grain, right? On the snow covered ground, and the covered was totally the ground was totally covered with snow, white snow. Everything were only snow, 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 and he didn't get any single grain there. Not a flower could he see. He was not able to see the flowers also, not a leaf also. There was not a single leaf on a tree. All right, and now he is just complaining, he is just grumbling. Oh, what will become, says the cricket of me. And now he is very worried because he had nothing to eat. He is very worried about him, alright? He had not collected anything for his future, he hadn't saved anything, and now he is saying, oh, what will be become? What will become, says the cricket of me. Now, what will happen to me? How will we survive here? Now he is really very worried about. At last, by starvation. Starvation means acute hunger, alright, at last. And famine made bold. Famine means there was no food, alright. It was a you can say scarcity of food or having nothing to eat, all dripping with wet. Dripping means to be wet or to be soaked, with all trembling with the cold. He was shivering, he was shaking with the cold. So let's come to the point. At last, by starvation, as he had nothing to eat, or he has nothing to eat, everything was covered with snow, all right. He has not a single piece of bread, as we had already read in the previous lines that he had spent his summer only in singing and dancing. He had not saved anything for his future, all right. So now he hunger, now he is very hungry, and famine made bold. famine means scarcity of food. जो उसके पास भोजन नहीं है, उसने उसे बहुत bold बना दिया. All dripping with water. However, he was completely wet with water. Now he was, as we know now, when it is winter season, everywhere there is a snow, and we had already read that he had not made any kind of shelter for him. So he was dripping. He was, soaking, completely soaked in the water. But starvation, he was very very hungry, and hungry made him bold to go out. Hungry made him bold to go to his best friend ant, and all trembling with cold, and he was completely shaking with the cold. He was completely shivering with the cold. It was a harsh winter. Away he set off. Away he set off. Set off means to begin his journey of a miserly ant. Ant was his friend, alright. And finally he decided, because he was very hungry, he has nothing to eat, he has no shelter, he was shaking with the, he was shaking with due to harsh cold. And then he decided to begin his journey. Then he decided to go to his best friend, that is ant, to see if to keep him alive. To see it, to keep him alive means he just want to survive himself, and that's why he went to the ant. And he was thinking he would grant, means the ant would give him shelter from rain. He would give shelter him from the harsh rain outside in the winter season. And a mouthful of grain means certainly she would give something him to eat. He wished only to borrow. He was only thinking to borrow. He had repaid tomorrow, and he was thinking surely he will return tomorrow. Tomorrow means here summer season, when this season, this harsh weather will go, and where summer season will come back again, then he just returned everything whatever he had taken from the ant. If not, he must of die starvation and sorrow. And if she would not help him, then he must die of hunger and sadness, because he have nothing to eat, no shelter, all right. These lines, borrow and tomorrow, it's a line from had taken from famous play of Shakespeare, that is King Lear, all right. Says the ant to the cricket, I'm your servant and friend. When everything he discussed with his friend ant, then ant replied, I'm your servant, sir. Yes, sir, I'm your servant. And friend also. But we ants never borrow, we ants never lend. We didn't believe on this, that we should borrow or we should lend. We don't believe in this. We didn't believe in borrowing and lending. We didn't believe in giving and taking, all right. That is not included in our beliefs. But tell me, dear cricket, did you lay nothing by? But tell me, Now you have to apprise me, sir. Dear cricket, sir, what were you doing in summer season? What were you doing in, in that pleasant weather? What were you doing? You had nothing saved for your future. You were not thinking about that winter season will come. Then what will you do? When the weather was warm, what were you doing when there was a happy summer? Quoth the cricket. No. Then cricket replied sadly. No, my heart was so light that I sang day and night. For all nature looked gay, you sang, sir, you say. Go then, says the ant, and dance the winter away. Now, he replied, my heart was so light. Here, light means happy, full of joy. My heart was full of pleasure. I was so happy that I sang day and night, and that's why I just sang all day and all night. For all nature looked gay, because nature was looking very happy, and I was also enjoying that. Then ant became very furious. She became ferocious that time, and then she replied, "You sang, sir." Okay, sir, you are saying you sang. You were singing only. Go then, now you can go. You are just get lost. You are fired, replied the ant. And dance the winter away. Now it's time to dance in the winter season. As you are saying that you had sing all day long in summer season, now the season had come of dancing, so just start dancing. Thus ending, and we all know that ant became very furious. She became ferocious, and then she just ends the conversation with, cricket, and he replied. He hastily lifted the wicket. The ant quickly lifted the wicket, means a small door, lifted the small door, and out of the door turned the poor cricket. He just closed his door, and the poor cricket was waiting outside. Folks call this a fable, means ant didn't help him. He didn't help him. He had not given a single help to the ant. All right. Ant had not given a single help to the cricket. Sorry, ant had not given a single help to the cricket. All right. He just closed his door. He just lifted his door and closed it. Folks call this a fable. The people of village, or people call it fable, means it's a moral story. I'll warrant it true. Now the the author is saying that no, it's not a fable, it's not a story, it's true. I'm totally agree that it's a true story. Some crickets have four legs. Here again the poet is comparing, all right, making comparison between human beings and cricket. Some crickets have four legs, means some insects are very lazy, all right, like cricket. And yes, in the human being also there are many human beings who didn't care about their future. They enjoy whatever they had got. They didn't save anything for their future. They didn't recollect anything for their future, all right. And when they have bad time, they just started to cry, and they just seek help here and there, all right. So why poet is talking about the importance of preparation, let's discuss. When we are young, we must spend our time working and planning for the future. It's very important, children, that we have to that we have to prepare ourselves for the future. It's going to be very tough, so we have to we have to make a vision for our future also. Thus who don't plan in advance, the person who never prepare themselves, all right, they just regret only, they just suffer only, like the cricket, as we had seen in the story, that his best friend and he didn't help him. He had not given a single help, right. And at last he was starving with hunger and cold, because he had nothing to eat, he had nothing to live. The cricket enjoyed the sunny moments like summer and spring, and didn't think of the cold and difficult moments of winter. The ant was occupied all through, means the ant worked hard. In the summer season, in the spring, she was collecting food for the winter and she was storing it safely. The ant, here the ant represents those people who are wise and bold, who can face all kind of situation with determination. They are strong, powerful and good planners as well. The cricket represents the people who live in the moment. These people do not think about the future and therefore they pay the price of their ignorance. They suffer. You all had seen in that poem that cricket had suffered a lot. They are not sincere and are only interested in merrymaking and enjoyment. Alright, so come to the summary of this poem. It's a fable in poetic form. Poetic form. A fable is a story often with animals as characters that conveys a moral. This is the poem about a silly young cricket and an ant. Cricket was only singing all day long and used to enjoy his good times during summer season. He didn't plan anything for the future. When winter arrives, Cricket couldn't find a small amount of food to eat. So the cricket thinks of going to miser ant to borrow food and to get shelter. Then the cricket knocked on the ant's door and asking for help. The ant gives a very important lesson of life during its conversation with the cricket and says that ants neither borrow from somebody nor lend to somebody. Ants are hard-working creature and they believe in saving for the future. Then ant asks the cricket what it was doing during happier times. On hearing the cricket indulged in dancing and singing and making merry, the ant asked cricket to try dancing and singing once again during rough times. Thank you so much for watching, students. All right.